She was a woman with a bad reputation. People avoided her. They whispered when she walked by. She lived in a city with walls so high no one could break in. Soldiers guarded the gates. The people inside thought they were safe. But what if I told you that this woman, Rahab, would be one of the most important women in the Bible? How did a Canaanite woman, a prostitute, end up in the family line of Jesus Christ? Rahab's story is not just about a city, spies, or a battle. It is about faith, courage, and God's power to change lives. Stay with us as we uncover a story that proves no one is too far from God's mercy. And before we begin, if you love Bible stories that show God's mercy in unexpected ways, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You do not want to miss this. The city of Jericho stood like a fortress. Tall walls, strong gates, and an army ready to defend it. People believed it could never be conquered. The gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. The walls were so thick that chariots could ride on top of them. Soldiers patrolled day and night. The people were confident. They believed their false gods would protect them. Jericho was filled with wealth and luxury, but it was also filled with wickedness. The people worshipped idols made of wood and stone. They sacrificed to false gods. They lived for pleasure, ignoring the one true God. Stories spread about the Israelites. Stories spread about how their God had split the Red Sea, how he had led them through the desert, how he had defeated mighty kings. The people of Jericho were terrified, but instead of turning to God, they hardened their hearts. In this city lived a woman named Rahab, but she was not a queen. She was not a noblewoman. She was a prostitute. People whispered about her. They avoided her during the day, but visited her house at night. She was used, but never truly valued. Yet Rahab was different. She had heard about the Israelites too, but unlike the others, she believed. She knew their God was real. Deep inside, Rahab longed for something more. She saw the emptiness of Jericho's gods. She watched as the people ignored the warnings, but she believed the God of Israel was different. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. Rahab had faith even before she had proof. And now the moment had come. The Israelites had arrived. The city was on high alert. The gates were locked. Soldiers were watching for spies. Rahab stood at her window, looking out from her home built into the city wall. Would Jericho really fall? Would the Israelite God do what he had done before? She did not know it yet, but her life was about to change forever. Stay with us, because Rahab's story is just beginning. It was a normal evening in Jericho. Guards patrolled, merchants closed their shops, and people settled into their homes. But at Rahab's door, two strangers knocked. Rahab took one look at them and knew they were Israelites. The people of Jericho feared them, but Rahab saw something different. These men belonged to the God she had heard about, the one who did miracles. She had two options: turn them in. The king would reward her. She would gain favor and maybe even a better life. Or hide them. But if she was caught, she would be executed as a traitor. Her heart pounded. The decision had to be made in seconds. She grabbed the men and led them up to her rooftop. She covered them with flax stalks, pressing them down to make sure they were well hidden. Would this work? Would the soldiers believe her? Heavy footsteps thundered through the streets. A loud knock shook Rahab's door. "King soldier, bring out the men who came to you. They are spies sent to destroy us." Rahab's heart raced. She could feel the men breathing under the flax, but she stood firm. The woman had taken the two men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I do not know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them." The soldiers believed her. They rushed out of the city, chasing after the spies on the road to the Jordan River. As soon as the soldiers were gone, Rahab ran to the spies. "I know that the Lord has given you this land. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you." When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below. Tears filled her eyes. This was her moment. She was standing in front of the people of the true God. She had lived in sin, but now she had chosen faith. What will happen next? Will Rahab's faith save her when Jericho falls? Stay with us to find out. The spies prepared to leave, but Rahab was not done yet. She had risked everything to save them. But what about her own family? Tears filled her eyes as she begged them to promise not just for her, but for her loved ones. Our lives for your lives. If you do not tell anyone what we are doing, we will protect you when the Lord gives us this land. The deal was made. Rahab's courage and faith had saved not only herself, but her entire family. Before they left, the spies gave her a sign. This oath you made us swear will not be binding on us unless, when we enter the land, you have tied this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. Rahab tied the red cord to her window, marking her house as a place of safety. The scarlet cord was more than just a rope. It was a symbol of faith, salvation, and God's promise. Just like the Israelites were saved by the blood of the lamb in Egypt, Rahab's house would be saved by the scarlet cord. The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And in the future, Jesus' blood would be the ultimate sign of salvation for all who believe. You were redeemed with the precious blood of Christ, a lamb without blemish or defect. Rahab lowered the spies down the city wall. They vanished into the night, heading back to Joshua with news of what they had seen. Now all Rahab could do was wait. Would the Israelites return? Would the scarlet cord really save her? What happens next? Stay with us as we uncover the incredible conclusion to Rahab's story. Fear gripped Jericho. The people had heard about the God of Israel, how he parted the Red Sea, how he defeated mighty kings. And now the Israelites were right outside their walls. The city was locked up tight. No one went in, no one came out. Then something strange happened. The Israelites did not attack. They did not say a word. They just marched once around the city walls every day for 6 days. Why are they just marching? Why don't they attack? What kind of army does this? But in one house, a woman watched with hope. Rahab clung to the scarlet cord. The promise had been made, but would it be kept? On the 7th day, everything changed. The trumpets blared, the Israelites shouted. Then suddenly, the ground shook. Cracks split through the mighty walls of Jericho. The towering stone barriers crumbled into dust. The people of Jericho screamed in terror. They had trusted in their walls, but now their city was falling around them. Rahab's house stands alone. But then something incredible happened. As the walls collapsed into rubble, one section remained standing. The spies returned, not as spies, but as rescuers. Through the dust and destruction, the 2 spies ran to Rahab's house. "Rahab, it is us. We have come for you," just as they had promised. So the young men who had done the spying went in and brought out Rahab, her father and mother, her brothers and sisters, and all who belonged to her. They brought out her entire family and put them in a place outside the camp of Israel. Rahab and her family were led out of Jericho. Everything she had known was gone, but the scarlet cord, the promise, and her faith had saved her. Her past was over. A new future awaited. Jericho was gone, but Rahab and her family were safe. Rahab had escaped death. But now what? She and her family were alive, but still seen as outsiders. "She is not one of us. She is from Jericho. Can we trust her?" some people whispered behind her back. But Rahab did not let their words shake her faith. Something amazing happened. Rahab's faith was not forgotten. The Israelites saw something different about her. Slowly, she was accepted. She was no longer just Rahab the harlot. She was Rahab the faithful. But Rahab's story was not over. She caught the attention of a man named Salmon. He saw more than her past. He saw her faith. He saw a woman who trusted God when no one else in Jericho did. Salmon, a prince from the tribe of Judah, chose Rahab as his wife. Rahab, once a woman of shame, became the wife of a noble Israelite. Rahab became a mother. Her son's name? Boaz. Yes, the same Boaz who later married Ruth, another woman of faith. Her faith did not just change her life. It shaped generations. Through her bloodline came King David, and through David's line came Jesus, the Savior of the world. Rahab's redemption was complete. She started as an outcast, but God made her a part of his greatest plan. No past is too broken. No person is too far gone. God's grace rewrites every story. Rahab's faith changed more than just her life. It set a chain reaction into motion, one that would lead to the birth of the Messiah. Salmon was the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz was the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse was the father of King David. Look at this family tree: Rahab, Boaz, Obed, Jesse, King David, Jesus Christ. Who would have imagined a woman once trapped in sin became the great-great-grandmother of Israel's greatest king? And through her line, the King of Kings was born, Jesus Christ. And Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. And Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. Her name is forever recorded. Rahab's name is written in the genealogy of Christ. She was not forgotten. Her past did not define her. Her faith did. A final lesson Rahab's story teaches us: God can use anyone, no matter their past. Faith is more powerful than fear. When you trust in God, He can rewrite your story. Rahab's faith changed history. How will your faith shape the future? Before you go, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More powerful Bible stories are coming your way. Rahab's life proves one powerful truth: God does not choose people the way the world does. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Rahab was not a priest, not a prophet, not a queen, yet God chose her to be part of His plan. If He could use her, what could He do with your faith? Think about your own life. Have you ever felt unworthy? Do you think your past mistakes disqualify you? Have you felt like an outsider, just like Rahab? The truth is, God is not looking at your past. He is looking at your heart. By faith, Rahab the prostitute was not destroyed by the people in her city who refused to obey God. She had welcomed the spies in peace. Rahab's past did not define her. Her faith did. And the same can be true for you. God does not see you for who you were. He sees you for who you can become. No matter where you have been, God can write a new story with your life. You just have to trust Him. Did this story inspire you? Rahab's journey proves that faith can change everything. If you want more powerful Bible stories that reveal God's grace, make sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Join the conversation. What part of Rahab's story spoke to you the most? How has God rewritten your story? Drop a comment below. We would love to hear from you.